Welcome to the new Lake County Interactive GIS map. In this video we're going to go over some of the new features of the interactive map and show you how to use it. So we're going to jump right in and start using it. So this is the new interactive map. This is the way it looks currently as of today. Things will probably change a little bit. This is not the final design of the site. We'll probably make it look a little bit nicer, but this is what we have up until today. And so we'll just go over some of the basic map functions to start with. So moving the map is just like the old site, so you can click and drag, move the map around. You can zoom in and out, and there's a couple different ways to zoom in and out. The first way would be to use your mouse. You can either double click anywhere on the map and it will zoom in one level, or you can use your mouse wheel, and if your mouse has a wheel in the middle, kind of click it in to zoom in and then click it out to zoom out. You can also use this bar over here on the left hand side to zoom in and out quickly. And then we also have a zoom in button. So the zoom in button, you click on it, which will activate it, and then you draw a rectangle on the map using your mouse, and it will zoom into that area that you drew. Every time you use that zoom in tool, after you've zoomed in once, it will disable itself so you can pan around the map. So if you want to enable that zoom in tool again, you have to click it each time and then draw your rectangle. And then the final way to zoom in, which is my personal favorite, is there's a keyboard shortcut. If you hold down the shift key, and that will allow you to draw a rectangle and zoom in. So instead of having to use the zoom in tool, you hold down shift, draw your rectangle. If you want to zoom out quickly, you can hold down control and shift and then draw that same box, and it will zoom you back out. And then if you want to go back to the full extent, the default view of the map, you can click the full extent button. Using the layers, you can turn layers on and off just like in the old map by clicking this layers link over here on the right hand side. That'll show you a list of all the layers of the map. And just like on the current site, these layers are grouped together into logical groupings. Actually the layer list is exactly the same. The group layers are here. You hit the plus button. You can turn layers on and off by checking stuff. You can see they turn on and off. On the bottom here is our list of our raster layers. So layers like our terrains, our contours, just like on the current site. Those layer boxes are here. And then of course below those we have all of our aerial layers. So I'll show you one new feature of these aerials. And I'm going to zoom into our county administration building, if I can find that on the map here. Oh, where's our round building at? Here it is. So one of the new features of this layer list is this little slider. And what these sliders do for each layer is that they change the transparency of the layer. So you can see as I'm dragging it over here to the left, the layer becomes invisible, and if I drag it back to the right, it becomes visible. One of the ways to utilize this feature is to turn on two different aerials. So I'm going to just turn on the 2006s and the 2011s. So they're both turned on at the same time. Now if I want to see the differences between the aerials from 2011 and 2006, I'm just going to start turning the 2011s off. And you can see that we can see the changes that have happened between 2006, 2011. For one, the parking garage was built. So if I turn the 2000 layer back on slowly, I can see that I'm getting a nice visual representation of what's changed. So you can do this with any of the aerial layers. So let's say the differences between 2009 and 2011. So I'll turn those two images on, and then if I change it, I can see that the new courthouse was built between 2009 and 2011. And you can also change the visibility of the main layer list. So you can see that the tax parcel lines are going away as I change that visibility. The views button, which is right above layers, is something we've are experimenting with, and basically what this does is it allows you to quickly change the layers that are visible on the map by using these preset defaults. So the default, if you click that, nothing will change because that's the default listing of the layers. If you click elections, that will turn off a lot of the layers, but turn on the election layers. And then zoning is very similar, where it's going to show you just the zoning layers. And if I go back to default, here's my default list of layers. And then we added this one called aerials off, and what this one does is it just turns all the aerial imagery off. So I'll go ahead and click default, and then I'll close that. Searching the map is pretty simple. We've added a couple new features. So this search box is actually, you can search a couple different ways. You can search by owner name, so you would type in the last name and then the first name. So, and as you start typing in an owner name, you can see that it's looking for results as you're typing. So you can narrow down your results very quickly just by continuing to type a person's name. And then if you find the one that you want, you can click on it, and it will show you the results over here on the left hand side. The results over here on the left, well, let me show you one other thing for the search. As I said, you can search by name. You can also search by alt key. So oops. So again, it does the same autocomplete search, and then you can also enter a address, and that will do a similar search. So I'm going to go back and do my original one. So the search results over here, you can see that it does show a map tip, puts a little tip on the map of your results. So you can click that tip and get a little info window, kind of see some of the information. And over here on the left, you can kind of see that same information. So we have links to different sites, and then we have the tax parcel information. If you click details, it'll expand it and show you a lot more information. If you click zoom to, it'll zoom you to that area of the map and highlight the parcel, so it puts a little red box around it. You can also click the little tip here in their search results. So if you had multiple results, like say I just do a search for that, so I have now 5 results show up. I can click each of these tips and it will quickly take me to that part of the map. Another feature of this search results is that you can download these results to a CSV file or an Excel file. What's going to happen is I click this button, it's going to take these 5 results and then put them into an Excel file. And so here's the Excel file, and you can see that on the top is all the column names and then my 5 results. So this is really helpful if you want to maybe do like a mail merge. You want to send owners a bunch of you want to send each owner of these properties a letter. You can use Word with a mail merge feature and do that pretty quickly. As I did mention, there are these links that will give you more details about the properties from various sites. So I'll start with the Street View one. This was one a new feature that we added. So you click Street View and it's going to open up this new window over here, and it's going to show you the Google Maps Street View of that property. And this is a fully functional little widget here, so you can control just like you would on Google Maps. And if you want to see a bigger version of this, you can click this link that says Open in Google Maps, and that'll open up the page in the full version of Google Maps and allow you to use their Street View if you want. And if you're finished with that, you can close that button. So that's Street View. There's links to the property appraiser site, which will bring you to the property record card of a property. We have a tax collector link, which will bring you to the tax collector's website. And then building permits, which will tell you if there's been any county issued permits for this property. Also in the search results, if you want to hide this left-hand side box, you can click this little black arrow and it will hide the search results and expand the map. Click the button again, it will show the results. If you want to clear any of these results, you could either do another search and that will clear anything that's on here, or you can click this clear button and that will clear it out as well. So that's the basic search tools. Going from the top up here, we'll talk about some of these buttons next. We've already talked about zoom in. You click it, draw a box, and zoom in. The full extent will bring you back to the default view of the map. The identify tool is used for identifying features that are visible on the map. So you click identify and then you click anywhere in the map and it's going to return the results from whatever layers are visible where you clicked on. So I clicked on a tax parcel layer and you can see that it's giving me kind of the same information that was over here on the search results. We get the same links to those websites and then we get the parcel information. If you click on multiple features that are visible at a point, let me see if I can do that. Well, here I clicked on local streets and it shows me streets. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here and I'm going to try to bring up, here we go. So I clicked on an area where the tax parcels and the streets were visible. So if you want to view the two, you just click on the tab to see each set of results. The select tool got a pretty major revision in this new map. So when you open up the select tool, you're going to see you get some options here. You get a selection tool, which has the ability to change it from a rectangle, a point, and a freehand line. And then you also get these two options. The first is keep selection tool active. And so what that means is when you do a selection, so I have the rectangle selected. And so like this mouse tip says, it says press down to start and let go to finish. So you actually draw a rectangle and anything within this rectangle will be selected. And the results will be put over here on the left hand side and you'll see the map tips as well. Now when you choose the option to keep the selection tool active, which is the default, that means that you can keep drawing, you can keep making selections. So if I was to uncheck this box and if I go to draw a tool, it'll make the selection and then close out the select option. So now I can pan around the map and do whatever I need to. So that's what this option does, and it's enabled by default. Again, the clear button will clear any search results and turn off the select tool. This other option that says add to selection is pretty interesting. So let me just say I make a small selection here and I selected these options, and now let's say I want to add to this selection. Well, by default, if I make another selection, it's going to take that first selection away, it's going to clear them, and then just do my second selection. If I check the add to selection button, now when I make a second selection, it's going to keep my first selection and just add those new results to my already existing selection. So this is really nice if you want to select tax parcels that aren't actually connected to each other. So you can make, I want to select these ones over here, and then I want to go and select these ones over here, and then I want to export them all to a CSV file. Well, you can do that now. The different tools for the selection, the rectangle we saw, the point tool is just like it says, so you just click on the map once and it will select a single tax parcel or a single point. The other option is the freehand line tool. So this one is nice for selecting maybe kind of an odd assortment of properties. So like maybe I just want to select anything around this lake. Well, now I can just, using that freehand line, it's actually just like it says, it's a freehand line. You can create this line and make whatever funky shape you want to do your selection. And when you let go, it selects all those parcels. So that's the select tool. And like I did mention, just to reiterate, all these options that you select, anything that you select is able to be exported to the CSV file by clicking this button. So I'll just do that real quick just to show you. So here's that, all the parcels that I selected are in that file. And you can click clear to remove any of those results. The measure tool is just like the current site. So you have three options. You can measure an area, you can measure a distance, or you can get the latitude and longitude. So distance is probably the most popular. You have the different options of measurements. So I'll just do feet here. And unlike the current site, this one, when you're doing a distance, it's actually showing you the distance in real time. So I click my first point, and then now I'm moving my mouse to deciding where I want to make my second point, and as I'm moving it, I can see that the feet is increasing or decreasing. So you just click on the map, click your different points to make your distance, and finish it up. If you want to do an area, very similar, you click to make your points, and when you double click to finish it, it gives you the area of that measurement. And then the location feature will return the latitude and longitude wherever you click on the map. And then again, you can clear to get rid of it. The buffer tool is a little bit different in this map. It's actually a lot easier. In the old map, you had to make a selection and then buffer on that selection. Now you just turn on the buffer tool and then you click anywhere in the map to make the buffer, and it will select anything that's inside that buffer distance. So I just did a distance of 100, so I'll change that to, let's say, 500. I'll click on the map. The red circle indicates the buffer area, and then we get all of the parcels that are within that area. And again, the results of the buffer are put over here on the left hand side, and you can download these results to a CSV file. The print has a few new options. So printing is basically taking an export of the map area and giving you a PDF or whatever type of file you want of that. So we have 3 different formats: PDF, PNG, and JPEG. PDF is probably the most popular. We have 3 different resolutions. The higher the resolution, the larger the file, and the better quality it will be. We have different templates, so different sizes and different either portrait or landscape, 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11. And then this map only I'll talk about here in a second. So you give it a title. This is a title that will show up on the top of the file. So you choose your options, you hit print. It'll say please wait, so it does take a couple seconds to actually create the file. And when it's done, the please wait will change to a download map link. So you can download the map, and this will open up in your PDF viewer. So here's that title that we gave it that shows up at the top. Here's the map that we are currently viewing, and then on the bottom you get a scale bar and then a legend. If you were to pick map only here, just like it says, it'll give you just the map, so it won't include this title and it won't include the legend and the scale bar. So you can, whatever you put into the title will just be ignored. But let's say I do map only and I print again, I go to download the map. Now I'll just get the map, so nothing else, just the preview of whatever I was looking at. Clear button we've gone over. There are a couple other buttons over here on the left. There's a share button, and the share button is will allow you to either send via email, or you can just copy and paste this link. And so in this new map, whenever you move the map around, including changing the zoom levels, panning, zooming, you'll notice that the URL up here changes. So you can actually take this URL and copy it, open it in another web browser, or send it to somebody, and the map will be in the same exact spot that you were last viewing it on, or viewing it at. And this even includes search results. So let's say I did a search, and now I want to send these results to somebody else. I can just copy this link and then open it up in any web browser, and I'll get the same view of the map and the same search results up here. So the share button is really just an easy way to share this URL with somebody. So you can enter an email address, hit send email, and it'll just send this URL to that person. It gives you a little note that the email has been sent. The about button is just a very basic information about the map, who to call if you have questions, who to email if you have questions. And then the help button is give you somewhat of a guided tour of the features of the map. So it also has a link to this video in case you wanted to watch it or send it to somebody, tell them to go to help, watch video. But basically this walkthrough, if you go through it step by step, it's just going to outline the features of the map and kind of showcase them to you, much like this video, but in a much shorter way. So you can end the walkthrough at any time, so I'm just going to end it. But if you want to check out some more, please check the help file. And then one last feature I wanted to mention about this map, which I haven't yet, is that as you've noticed just from watching this video, the map screen is much larger in this version of the map than it was in the previous version. And one of the cool features is that the map can be increased in size depending on how large your monitor is. So the whole layout of the site will just change depending on how big your browser window is. So like let's say I have a very small browser window. You can see that the map is this size. And as soon as I drag it and make it bigger, the site kind of refreshes, the map reloads, and it takes up as much space as possible. So if you have a very high resolution monitor, this map area is going to be much bigger. And that was one of the most requested features I think we had of the old site. So that is the overview of the new interactive map site. If anyone has any questions, please send me an email or give me a call and let me know what you think. All right, thanks.